Four earthquakes registering 5.0 or greater have shaken Mexico and parts of California in the last month. Numerous smaller quakes have followed, and geologists call it an earthquake swarm. In this satellite photo of the Mexicali region, the yellow dots represent all the quakes that have occurred in the last 3 weeks. It has some wondering if the latest quake activity is a precursor to larger quakes in the region. We spoke to geologist Eric Pounders with the United States Geological Survey in Pasadena to find out what they suspect is causing the quakes and if Southern California residents should be concerned.
There are a few possibilities as to what's creating the earthquakes. One is that we have plate motion in this general region. The North American plate is moving generally to the south, and the Pacific plate is moving generally to the north.
Which is identical to what takes place daily here on the San Andreas Fault. Whether we feel it or not is a different story. But Pounders says there could be another, more interesting cause.
There's magmatic activity that's happening relatively close to the surface. So we could have some magmatic or lava moving around underneath the crust that's allowing movement of the subsurface.
So how do they know that there's magma close to the surface there? Believe it or not, there is a volcano just south of the border.
It's a different kind of volcano than you've heard of before. You've usually heard of Mount St. Helen type volcanoes or Hawaiian volcanoes. Both of these are much, much larger than the type of volcano that we see in this region. It's called a cinder cone, relatively small.
In this satellite picture, we can make out the volcano here, the darker area. In the Gulf of California, some sliding motion is actually pulling Baja away from mainland Mexico, and this motion is thinning the crust in that region and allowing the magma to move closer to the surface. That leads us to the interesting question, could there be a volcanic eruption near Southern California in the future?
We don't know the last time that volcano has erupted. It could have been in historical time, but we have no evidence of that. What the volcano tells us is that there's probably some hot rock relatively near to the surface that has been moving around.
Geologists say we have two real and completely distinct possibilities for the causes of this quake swarm, but historically the quake swarms like the one currently in progress are not at all that unusual for the Mexicali region. In fact, in the 1930s and 70s, the region was continually shaken by swarms of the same intensity.
In the past, we haven't seen any other earthquakes migrate to the north. We haven't seen any of that in the past, so we don't anticipate that it will happen in this swarm. It's a possibility.
The USGS says that the Mexicali region could see more quakes in the 5.0 range over the next several weeks, with the spacing between them increasing as time goes on. So should Southern California residents be on alert with all the quakes just south of the border? The answer is no. But geologists warn we should always be prepared.
At some point in the future, there will be an earthquake that ruptures near them. There will be an earthquake that's going to affect you and your home. So take this time now that it's fresh in your mind in order to prepare yourself for the time when it eventually does come.